Just playing our game. We talk about playing in the middle of the rink, limiting their time and space, and they're a really good team. We wanted to make sure that we could stand up against them and show that we're a good team as well. And we just played our game today, and we did it really well. We kept clogging up the middle and playing our transition game and playing fast and trying to frustrate their skilled players, and we did a pretty good job today.
Well, we've all seen what Dylan Cozens can do, flashes of his potential. What did you see from him with what he did in the last 6 minutes of the second period?
Confidence, his speed. Like he's got every tool in the toolbox, and it's just a matter of time before he really breaks out and be a star in this league. Like he's a great player, and when he's playing on his game, he's a tough player to play against. And I've had a blast playing with him. He does a lot of things really, really well, and we haven't scored that many lately, but we've been playing some pretty good hockey together, and finally a couple went in for him, and that might be a huge confidence boost for him moving forward. And he was a great player today. Played against McDavid pretty much every shift, and did a great job in that role.
What's the talk like on the bench when 6 penalties? Some of them, I'm sure you guys didn't exactly agree with the calls, but I mean, how did you guys prevent frustration from leaking in at that point in the game?
Yeah, it's tough when there's that many penalties. There's no rhythm in the game for anybody really. Like you're playing with 4 guys on the ice killing penalties and disallowed goals, like the stoppages. It was just kind of a weird start to the game, but we just try to keep our focus and keep doing what we do best. And we know they have a great power play, and if we can kill off those penalties, it's a huge confidence boost for our team. And we were able to do that for the most part. I think they had a couple there, but for the most part, we did a pretty good job, and that's huge for our team going forward.
You used to be teammates with Keith. I'll use a football term. You look like you're waiting in the weeds for that. Did you kind of bait him on that? Did you kind of know he might come across with that pass?
Yeah, I mean, Connor's on the ice. I know a lot of people are looking for him on the ice. He's obviously the best player in the world right now, and why wouldn't you want to get him the puck, right? So we just talk about loading up in the middle and taking away those lanes, and I kind of showed that there was a lane and took it away, and I guess I baited him a little bit, but just being in the right place at the right time, sticking to our structure, those are the things that are going to make us successful, and that was a huge goal for us. Great play by Cuzzy getting that shot off, and that kind of helped our team propel forward.
Obviously, it's a team effort, but what does it mean to get the McDavid matchup?
I mean, that shows a lot of confidence in our line. That's big for all 3 of us. That's a big matchup. That's hard. He's a hard player to play against, and obviously when you get put in that situation, you want to make the most of that opportunity and show that you can play against other teams' top lines. And it's good to shut them down, but at the other end, we were able to get a couple as well. So that's huge for us, and hopefully, if we get put in those situations again, we can keep succeeding.
Do you go in knowing that's going to be your assignment all night, and you talk about it?
No, I mean, Coach didn't talk to me specifically. Obviously, when we announced the starting lineup before, that's kind of who they want us to match up with. And then he gave us kind of a heads up on the bench earlier in the first period there. So we just made sure that we did our job, protecting the middle, keeping up with his speed, trying to get in his skin and limit his time and space. And we were able to do a pretty good job of that today. Obviously, he's a tremendous player. I've seen it firsthand. He's going to make his plays whenever he's got an opportunity, but just trying to limit those opportunities and being good defensively, and we were able to chip in offensively as well. Thank you.
Hey. Well, Dylan, how did that feel to know you were going to go up against McDavid when you found out and they had the trust in you to go head-to-head with him, and you won the battle?
Yeah, it's a big confidence boost for sure. To go against one of the top players in the world. I was excited. I wanted to be up for the challenge, and it's not just me though. The whole team played a great game, and my line mates and everyone. So it was a big team effort in shutting down in the third there.
How did it feel to get that first step, that goal, especially the way the play went? I know that you've been working with Don and just sort of trying to get to your game.
Yeah, it felt really good. Obviously, it was a great play by Jules, transition to get it to me quick, and just tried to get a shot off, found its way in, so I was super happy about that.
Dylan, you said it's a confidence boost. What can this game do for you for the rest of your season?
Yeah, I think obviously it's one game, but I think it shows he can trust me going against the top players in the league. I mean, obviously it's one game, and I know I got to get better every single game, and there's things I can learn from this game and keep getting better. But it's big.
What did you guys do as a line to take the time and space away? Because really, McDavid wasn't a factor 5-on-5 till late in the third period when he became one, but the whole game you guys had pretty much shut down. What was successful for you guys as a group?
I think obviously his speed and hands are off the charts. He wants to, he tries to put you into positions where he can beat you. So I think just not overcommitting, just kind of staying inside, and obviously just working hard.
What's it mean for this team coming off the skid that you guys were coming off of and having blown a few leads to hold this one and be and end that slump?
Yeah, obviously this season we've blown some leads late in the third, and we aren't too happy about that. But there's stuff we can learn every single time, and we talked about that going into the third today. Is don't be scared, don't sit back, just keep playing our game, and it's big for us to end that kind of giving it up in the third late against a team like that.
Speak about your game. What was the offensive game plan going into this game against the Oilers?
Yeah, I think the first thought was just kind of defense and not getting worked by that line, and just knowing that the offense would come from that. Obviously, they're a very high offensive team, so everyone just focused hard on defense and took offense when it came. Not tried to force it.
I'm sorry. How happy are you guys that you can reward Dustin? He's had a lot of strong outings. He hasn't gotten a lot of goal support.
Yeah, he's been great for us all year. So he stood on his head at the end there, made some amazing saves. So we're happy we can help win that game for him. But he made some amazing saves for us. So we're very confident having him back there, and it's nice to help get him the win.
Can you appreciate the magnitude of this moment to go up against McDavid for the first time in your career? And, just your line, and the test, the challenge that Don put on. Can you appreciate what this meant for you and where this team thinks of you as far as you go?
Yeah, I mean, if I knew a couple of years ago that my first time going against McDavid, I'd be line matched against him. I don't know, it would have been a little overwhelming. But I try not to overthink and just go out and play. Just try and look at him as any other player, just a guy on the opposing team, and just do what I can to help the team win.
Both your goals where you were at top speed going to the net. Is that something you've been working on that you want me that you're saying, look, I need to do more of that, and it was successful for you tonight?
Yeah, obviously a lot of the goals are scored right around the net, and I've just been watching lots of video with Donnie, and trying to find ways to I can get to the net and use my speed. Not always skating as fast as I can all the time. So I just try to get the puck to the net and get rewarded sometimes.
Do you have anyone in attendance with the border open?
I had my parents, my grandparents, my cousins, and my uncle. So a lot of people. So it's nice to have a win like that with all of them there.
Do they fly in from Yukon? Is that where they are?
Yeah, my parents flew down. My grandparents live just over the border. My cousins live just over the border. So it's nice the border's finally open and they can come down and catch some games.
What's the total head count?
I believe it was 9.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Great game.
Thank you.
How many of your relatives came, Jen,
Just his media
to
family.
watch you work this game?
Yeah, they all freaking do, okay? Yeah, they always do. I have a live feed of you, right? Okay. Just because you don't know, just because my family cares. Okay.
Oh, guys. Rick content just went up 1 minute ago at Buffalo Sabres.
What happened?
New Rick content on Twitter.
Did he poop at center ice?
Oh, the dog.
So we're actually calling it Rick content, is that right?
Oh, it's Rick.
Well, they couldn't call him Rex, because of Rex Rhymes. Is this thing on? Nah.
You're gonna keep the teams record,
John,
pre-Rick and
I'm gonna call him John Paul Rick.
1-0.
There you go.
Rick.
I'm more of a cat guy.
Yeah, I don't know, can't be on cat line.
His mood after tonight's win. How come he doesn't have a mascot?
Leafs beat the Flames 2-1 in overtime.
That's fantasy points for a Jack Campbell win.
Keeps one over. Matthews. But he has it out of the season.
7-8.
Leafs will be available at 4:45 here tomorrow.
Hello?
Coach, what was the conversation like after Leon's second power play goal? What was the conversation on the bench like after that?
Well, we just wanted to play 5-on-5, so we were, the guys were a little ticked off, and they wanted to get back playing 5-on-5. They felt very confident in that realm, and we moved on quick.
Don, what's it like to throw, the thought process behind throwing Dylan Cozens into the deep end in a game like this and to match him up against Dylan Cozens, or Connor McDavid, in which he also scores twice in the response that he shows?
Yeah, you know, it started, that decision started a couple of days ago. I watched some clips with Dylan, I finished the clips, and I asked him a question. I asked him if he was ready to play against that matchup tonight, and I watched his body language, and if his body language was different, he wouldn't have got that matchup, but I liked what I saw, and felt he was ready for the challenge, whichever way it went. You don't know why, I couldn't tell you which way it was gonna go, but I felt he was ready for the challenge, so, and it was based on that.
What was it about his skill set and plus his line mates that made them the choice?
Well, they can skate.
Yeah.
They can skate, and that's a big reason. We, and again, I think, you know, 5-on-5, we were good tonight in that area. We could skate with them, but that was the reason.
Both of his goals tonight, he was at top speed, going to the net. Is that one of the things you went over with him? You said you were talking to him and went over some things with him. Is that one of the things you impressed upon? He needs to play with more speed like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think those guys are, that comes with some chemistry. You know, I can't take credit for that by any means. Those guys had good chemistry, and they moved as a unit, as a group of 5, and when you do that, you're pacing off each other. You can generate a lot more speed, and I thought, you know, as a 5-man unit, when they were out there, regardless of the D, all the D were good in that realm. But that line in particular, those 3 had a really good couple days of practice, and you could see them building from the Washington game. They had a lot of opportunity in the Washington game that they didn't create scoring chances, but it was opportunity. They were right there, and they followed that up with 2 good practices, and I just felt they were ready for the next step.
You encouraged to see the way that your group responded to adversity in the third period. It's, you know, you guys have blown a couple of leads lately, obviously.
Yeah, you know, again, it wasn't, I mean, certainly in light of the last couple games, it's great, but we're not carrying the last couple games or a few games or anything into the game, as we can't tomorrow, unfortunately. You know, they just were in the moment, and the moment called for buckling up and tightening up, but not, tightening up's a bad word, but staying aggressive. And they did it. They, you know, our guys. So I don't think there was any prove it to her. They just were. They were hungry tonight, and they thrived on any situation other than the penalty kill. So.
How happy are you that you can get Dustin in? He hasn't had a lot of goals before. He's played very well pretty much the whole season.
Yeah, Dustin's been a quiet guy, even yesterday in practice, knowing he started. And I think he's a guy that, I mean, we love him because he competes to win, and it hasn't worked out as much as he'd like, but I don't think that's been his doing at all. He's done his part, and I think the games that he hasn't won, you know, we didn't score enough on our side, really. He's played great the whole season, and it's nice for that reason to see him win tonight.
You've often talked about not having, this team not showing fear or having fear. Is Cozens' reaction to your conversation and what this team mostly showed through today, was that a reflection of not being afraid?
Yeah, I've spoken a lot in that light, John, on you have to respect everybody in this game. I mean, there's so many good hockey players, but don't over-respect it, where you tense up and tighten up and are afraid to make a mistake and don't play aggressive. And so, I don't use those negatives. You play aggressive, and we want to play aggressive. And, I challenged our guys on that, as I do every day, significantly tonight, and we had a couple days to prepare. And so I don't, it was nice to have a couple days to prepare, because there was plenty of times in that game, like we said, in the penalty killer, we could have pulled apart and struggled, and we had it lately. So that was nice to see us plug through, but I think we're a little better rested doing so.
Don, Dylan said that the way he played tonight, he feels that he's building your trust in him on the ice. What do you think his ceiling is, and what do you see in the way that he played tonight?
Yeah, the way he played tonight, he had an amazing game. My trust in him has always been there. Definitely long term. But even in the short term, it's when you, as a coach, you think you don't trust him. It's such a subtlety. Like, if you just tweak this, you're right on. So he's never been far away from success, even though it's sometimes elusive to him. It's just part of him gaining experience. And the biggest thing with me, I want to see him play with confidence, because it's exciting for everybody here to watch. It follows us to watch him when he plays with confidence, and that's the way to maximize. And his ceiling is, I can't tell you where his ceiling is. It's high.
After you put them on the power play for the 6th time, did you finally just tell them, hey guys, this isn't going to work? It's got to end, or did they figure it out on their own?
Well, there's two sides to power plays too. It's a tricky one, Paul. It's a tricky one. I'll tell you that. It's a tricky one.
I like to do that to you.
Yeah, no, you got me on that. So
I just didn't know if you said something to them, that guys.
I would say something to them if I felt needed, and they were saying the right things on the bench in front of us as coaches. So we really didn't have to address it. I did address in the second period, in between the second period, that some of the calls that they might have thought weren't legit were legit. So refocus. Stop complaining or being concerned about what the call was. And I told them their responsibility in part to why a call in their mind went against them, to clear that up. So we're not going to play the victim here. It's our doing. Let's go after it. So,
Coach, was this game a way to build Dustin's confidence as a netminder? You spoke a little bit about him struggling.
Yeah, I do think, well, he hasn't struggled. I think we've struggled in front of him at times. But again, that weighs on the goaltender, heavily. And so, yes, I think anytime you win and you have success, it really is a boost, and it will be to him. And again, he deserves it because he's put the work in.
Don, how would you assess the Thompson line tonight?
It was tough for them to get in any rhythm, and because of the power play, penalty kill, a lot of stuff like that, and they were almost multiple times tonight. So when we go back through that film, there's a lot of opportunity that they could have converted into bigger scoring chances or more production. So, but I love their game. They stayed on it. They had a lot of intermittent. They're the next line up, and all of a sudden we got to kill a penalty, and then we got to kill another penalty, and it's not easy to play that way. And so by consequence of no rhythm, I thought they played very well.
Thanks, Don.
Yep.
You know what, I don't know. Well, they're not.
You too, sir.